I have a cup of steam. That nice clean linen. Look how dirty it gets quick it gets dirty. Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking. To think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate we'll send you packing." At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a gilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little to wonder his fat, nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when it knew his paunch weakness, for a plate of turtle green glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. Come in, cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin, but lips where smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, it's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone. He advanced towards the council table, and please your honour, said he, I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat to self-same check. And at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartaria cried the Cam, last June from its huge swarms of gnats, I eased in Asia the Nizam, the monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation of an astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling, great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, grey rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home his commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as a scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses gripe, and a moving away of pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and breaking hoops of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice sweeter far than my harp by Solidly's plea called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world is grown to a vast dry sultry. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already stayed, like a great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as we thought it said come pour me, I found the Weser rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells, they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, the first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders. The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc, with claret, moselle, vin de gras, hock, and half the money would replenish the cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth Mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your coat. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promise a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and accept the prime of the head cook's pottage. All he's rich in, having left Michaela's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bait a stiver. and folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture piebald? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane. And ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds justling and pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, little tongues chattering. Like foals in the farmyard barley is scattering, out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping around merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb and the council stood, as if they're changed in the blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back. And how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosom beat, as the pipe returned from the high street, to where the western ruled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed, great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, his force let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were in to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you would blame his sadness, he was used to say, as dull on our towns as my playmates left, I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town and just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers before the fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was brighter to peacock here, and their dogs outran our fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured my lame folk would be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear that country more. Alas, alas for Hamlet, the king diminished further fate, the text which says of heaven's gate, hopes the rich as easy rate, as the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor said east, west, north, and south, puffed the piper by word of mouth, wherever men's lot to find him, silver and gold whose heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, bring the children behind him. But when they saw his lost endeavor, and piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was short for his future to lose his labour, nor suffered they hostelry or tavern, shocked with mirth the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say that in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were japanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats or from mice, if we promise not, let us keep our promise. Pied Piper of Hamelin by Robert Browning. Hello all, welcome to the stream. I'm baking bagels. Montreal-style bagels. And I have my first batch in the oven. Hello, welcome. I have my first batch in the oven, and my second batch is in the water, in the pot. That pot right there. Now we're going to do some everything bagels, all dressed. Some call them all dressed, I guess. Making Montreal style bagels. Vancouver style. Montreal bagels, Vancouver style. I've been thinking about how to convert this kind of oven to solar, and I'm thinking that if you could make a gas solar hybrid oven where you have like elements in there that are powered by like electric elements, like an electric oven that's powered by solar, but you'd have, so it would keep the oven really hot, but then you'd have like gas to brown the bagels, so it'd use a lot less gas. And yeah, I'm thinking, I think it could be done. I think you could make this into a solar hybrid oven someday. Someday I'll do it. I'll make me a solar oven. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askins to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that cursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What save the waylay with his lies and snare? All travelers who might find him posted there. And asked the road, I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, what crutch can write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside and do ominous track which all agree hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly I did turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness some end might be. For what, with my whole world wide wondering? What, with my search drawn out through years? My hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside. Since all is over, he saith, and the blow fallen no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near other graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I have for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so often be writ, so many times among the band of wit. The nights are too dark, throw out power, search and rest their steps, the just to fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed, all the day being a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its spray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged the plain after a pace or two, then pausing throw backward a last view, over the safe road 'twas gone, grey plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such dark and noble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect to cedar grow, but chortle and spurge according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. You think a burr had been a treasure trove. No penry inert distinct mace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly. It nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place, calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous else. What made the holes and rents in the dock's harsh shores leave? Bruised as to balk all hope of greenness. 'Tis a brute must walk, passing their life out with a brute's intents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair and leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud, which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, his every bone a stare, stood stupefied, however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red, gaunt, and calloped neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesque ones with such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart. As a man calls for wine before he fights, I asked one drafted earlier, happier sights. Ere fitly I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of old times, it's all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold. An arm and mind fixed me to that place. That way he used, alas, one night's disgrace. Out my heart's new fire and left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago when knighted first. An honest man should dare, he said he durst. Good, but the scene shifts. Fall, what hangman's hand pinned to his breast. Poor traitor, his own band reads it, poor traitor spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that. Back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will the night send a howlet or a bat, I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This as it frothed by might have been a bath of the fiends going goop. To see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with flakes and spoons. So petty, yet so spiteful, all along those scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of rout despair, a suicidal throng. The river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by to turn no whit. Which while I forded good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step revealed a spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby's shriek. Glad was I to reach the other bank. Now for a better country, vain presage. Who are the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading to that horrid muse. None out of it. Mad brew had set to work, their brains no doubt like galley slaves a Turk, pits for his pastime, Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on wide there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel or brake, not wheel, the harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of prophet's tool, on earth left unaware, brought to sharpen its rusty sheaths of steel. Now blotches rankling colored gay and grim, now patches where some newness of the soils, broken to loss of substances like boils. Then came a palsied oak, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies rather than coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening not, to point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, Apollyon's bosom's friend, sailed past, or beat his wide wings dragon penned, that brushed my cap, perchance the guide I sought. For looking up where I somehow grew, the plain had given place all round to mountains with such names to grace mere heights and heaps now stolen in view. How thus they surprised and solved at you, how to get from there was no clearer case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me, God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps. Here ended then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time, came a click as when the trap shuts, you're in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills to the right crouched like two bulls locked horn in fight, while to the left a tall scout mountain, Dun's daughter dozing at the very nunce, after a lifetime of training for the sight. What in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, blind as a fool's heart, built of brown stone without a counterpart. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, no stab and end the creature to the heft. Not see, because of night perhaps, why day came back to that. Behind it left the dying sunset, kindled through the cleft. Hit the hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, no stab and end the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers, my peers, how such was strong, and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of all, lost, one moment now the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, a living frame for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless, the slughorn to my lips I set and blew, child rolling to a dark tower came. That was Child Roll Into a Dark Tower Came by Robert Browning. One of the greatest poems written in the Victorian era. Definitely canonical. Robert Browning. Robert Browning. Skinnamarink dinky dink, skinnamarink doo. I love you. Anybody watching a Wonder Chosen fan? Anybody seen Wonder Chosen? It was an MTV program in the early 2000s. It was like and it was like an adult themed kids show. So like Sesame Street with with adult themes. It was really good. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's rather offensive, so if you're easily offended, you might not want to watch it. But yeah, oh, great show. I wonder what the creators of that show went on to do. I should look them up. Wonder shows, and I don't know where to find it online. I found it like some weird site. I haven't seen any of those Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah, I think that's sort of a similar kind of humor, I guess. I'd probably like Celebrity Deathmatch. But if you have a chance to check out Wonder Shows, and you should. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's puppets and crude satirical humor. It's one of my favorite old-time shows, old shows. Hello, welcome to the stream. Bacon Bagels here in Vancouver. We're on Commercial and Kitchener. Commercial Drive. Bagels, bagels, everyone loves bagels. Bagels, bagels, won't you eat one too? Flunkies, junks, and hunks, and your parents too. I love that tune. I think it's an old French folk song or something. I wonder if I can whistle the Wonder Shows in theme song. How does it go? Oh, I don't remember how it goes. Kid show, kid show. It's a kid show. Oh, I bruised my elbow on something. It's just killing me right now. Wonder shows in. Hola, welcome to the stream. Who watching is just waking up? And who is just going to bed, I wonder? There's 3 of you watching me. Who just woke up and who is just going to bed? Let's do a survey. Oh, no one wants to play. Thanks for the yellow hearts, yellow person. My next batch is 40 mini bagels, and they're going to be sesame. Sesame. Hey, hello, thanks. Gick Med? I don't know what that means. Gick Med. Here come the mini bagels. They look like Cheerios. Mini bagels. Well, he's gonna need some recruitment. want to do some reshaping. These are mini bagels. They're really hard to reshape. Mini bagels, mini sesame. I'm making 100 mini sesame, 100 mini rosemary rock salt, and 50 cinnamon today. And they're all going to the they're all going to a hotel downtown, one of the big ones. These mini bagels are all hand rolled, so they're a little bit oddly shaped. Sorry, I don't understand that language. I can't read that. I'm Canadian, I speak English. Sorry. That's all I got. Yeah, I'm making bagels, if that's what you're wondering. There we go, 40 mini bagels. Good thing I didn't try to bake more than that, because it only fits 20 per board. Bagels. Sorry, I don't read Cyrillic or whatever. Cyrillic root. Not bad.
I hate mini bagels. So many. Oh, and they're hot.
Making bagels. These ones are mini sesame, and they are going to the Hyatt Hotel downtown Vancouver. So if you're staying at the Hyatt, you might find some mini bagels there. I doubt anybody's watching that's at the Hyatt right now. But mini bagels. Mini sesame bagels. Baked the Montreal style way on mahogany boards in a gas fire oven. Well, I guess they... the traditional style is with a wood-fired oven, but we have gas fire here. Wood-fire ovens are quite... the smoke from them is quite harmful and pollutes the air quite badly, so we use gas here. The bagel bakeries in Montreal get complaints from their neighbors all the time because of the wood-fired ovens. So we use gas fire here. Hello all, welcome to the stream. I am baking bagels. Come down and get a bagel if you're awake in Vancouver. We're on Commercial in Kitchener. We're called Rosemary Rock Salt. If you come and talk to me and ask me to recite a poem, I will do that for you. If I'm able. If I'm not too busy. Actually, I'll still do it even if I'm too busy. There we go, 104 mini sesame bagels. Mini sesame bagels. Oh, these are so hot. Oh my god, they're just burning my hands up. There we go. 20. Let's move this oven around. Anybody in Vancouver watching? Should come get a bagel this morning. We open at 7. We're on Commercial in Kitchener. I bruised my elbow on something. I think I banged it on something and it's like made this whole muscle sore right there. It's killing me. It hurt worse yesterday than it did today though, so it's getting better. It's a good sign. Audience, tell me what your favorite child show was when you were growing up. Mine was Mr. Dress Up. I love Mr. Dress Up. And what else did I watch? Watched a lot of cartoons. Oh, Fred Penner. There's a guy. He's cute. I think my first batch of mini bagels is done. Good morning, welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. I'm making Montreal style bagels. At Rosemary Rock Salt on Commercial in Kitchener. Let's take 40 mini bagels out. 40 mini. Are they done? Yes, they're done. Some of them are shaped funny. I'll show you a mini bagel. There's a mini bagel with a tiny hole. Here, I'll show you a better one. That one's better. Tiny, tiny hole. Mini bagel. I'm making bagels. Montreal style bagels. Which means that they're baked in a gas or wood fire oven, and they're boiled in honey water. Yeah, so Montreal bagels are boiled in honey water, and then they're baked in a gas fire or a wood fire oven. And Montreal style bagels tend to be a little bit smaller than New York style, and they have a really hard crust and a soft, chewy crumb. Soft, chewy crumb. You're in Russia? Oh, wait. I get a lot of people watching from, I think a lot of people from Russia use Twitter. Why do so many Russians use Twitter? Okay. Yeah, your English is terrible. I don't think you know what you're saying. I'm gonna do some mini rosemary also. My next batch is done. No, not quite. Not quite done. Needs like another minute or so.
Hello. I'm in Vancouver, Canada here. Busy man, yes I am. Yeah, bagels. Mini bagels. These are pain. Oh my god, I hate mini bagels. Except for a special order though. I don't have to make them very often.
It's for a hotel downtown. Do I work out? Yeah. I run and bike. I live in Vancouver, so I mean, a lot to do here. I ski in the winter. Cross country ski, downhill ski. I do a little bit of trail running. And I bake for a living. It's pretty physical. I also like swimming. I swim once a week. No, I'm Canadian. We're in Vancouver. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Canadian. Thank God I'm not American. Oh my God. What a mess they're in. What's a good time to visit Scotland? Are you still watching? He's not watching me.